Let's start with the winners tonight, Ale. Liverpool, once again, the Late Late Show.
The Late Show, or the other way to look at it, it's just a manic team. And this is what they have been. So I guess we should not be surprised. But when they look so dominant at 2-0, you never thought that Atletico Madrid were ever going to come back in this match and make it 2-2. It was all Liverpool, all the time, all possession, all the chances. It felt like 2 was going to become 4 very quickly. And yet Liverpool does what they have done over the course of this season. Defensively, they allow things to happen and things to develop for other teams. In the first goal by Marco Llorente, Raspadori is allowed to run freely in behind the back line of Liverpool. Szoboszlai just looks at Raspadori and just points at him as if somebody's going to pick him up just because he pointed at him. Nobody ran with Raspadori. Eventually, Marco Llorente finds the shot on goal. It gets a deflection. There's a little held, and now it's 2-1, and now we got unnecessary stress. Get into the second half, and it's a tap-in for Mohamed Salah. You make it 3-1, and now there is no more stress. He misses that chance, and somehow you got the sense that Liverpool were about to once again let a 2-goal lead go. And when they tie the game up, Atletico Madrid, what is the first thing that I told you when we were watching the game? Liverpool's about to win this.
Yes, you did.
And it's just the feeling you have with this team that they have flaws. They have difficulties defensively. They have issues through the midfield and tracking runners. But when it comes to scoring late goals, now they seem to believe that they're always going to do it. And when you have a team as talented as Liverpool are, and you believe that you're going to do these things, there's a way that you're going to find every single game to go and get the winner. And Virgil van Dijk was able to do just that for this team.
Yeah, it's a bit chaotic. It's not 100% comfortable for Liverpool. As you can see, they do have a habit so far this season of leaving it late. Yeah, and the word that we use is chaos. Is this something that you put down to the fact that they've signed a lot of new players? We know how much money they've spent, and it's just going to take time for them to all get on the same page?
Well, interesting question, because I think it depends which way you go in. I mean, if you want to do friends in football these days, you go out and say on some social media to say that it's a great skill to have to always decide the games at the end, as Liverpool has done, because it is a skill. It's a mentality thing. If Ali thinks they will win it, imagine if your 11 players out there think they will do it. That is a great, great strength. On the other hand, 3 times now, they were 2-0 up, and teams are coming back on them, but still they have this skill to win the games. Yes, every other fans of every other team will say this is not sustainability in that way of doing it. But on the other hand, I mean, imagine when they start playing well. Imagine when they start not conceding so many chances. Imagine when they don't give leads away. So I think that if this is the biggest problem you have, I think there's a lot of other clubs in the world that would love to have the problems that Liverpool have at the moment. I will take it the other way. Yes, there could be something to find a balance in the team. I thought that Wirtz was a bit better today. Salah was back. He wasn't there against Burnley in the last game. But still, you have the you have the strength and the mental kind of monster kind of skill to come back. So yes, we can go negative, but I go positive. This is Liverpool showing that they are the reigning champion. And yes, to annoy everybody else, just imagine when Liverpool start playing well as well and stop conceding those chances.
Well, sticking along those positive lines, Alex, just looking at it now from the Atletico de Madrid perspective, I know it ended on a negative with the loss, but when they went 2-0 down just 6 minutes in, I thought, oh dear, this is going to be a long night for Diego Simeone. But they did well to get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, look, of course, there's disappointment at how it ended, but you're right. I think there's relief, given how it started, that it wasn't a lot worse. I think the image that this team gave at Anfield is pretty positive, going and competing and coming very, very close to going away with a point. I'm not sure there were many Atletico fans who were really expecting the team to go to Anfield and get something. This is an Atletico team without arguably their best player in Julian Alvarez, without their sort of 3 most high-profile summer signings in Alex Baena, Johnny Cardoso, and Thiago Almada. Pretty much half the starting 11 that weren't available for one reason or another. And despite that, they went there. And in the end, like I say, they really competed and came close to getting a result. And given how kind of catastrophically bad that start was, like I say, I think there are, you used the word positives, and there are a lot of positives that Simeone and the team can take away from this, even if Simeone did lose the plot a bit on the touchline at the end.
Well, I just have to say something interesting in terms of Atletico de Madrid, because Marcos Llorente, we were talking about this. He only has 7 Champions League goals. And look, it's fine. It's not really his job to score. But 4 of those goals come at Anfield. I'm telling you, La Lechuga. But I don't want to talk about Marcos Llorente. I want to talk about another M, Mo Salah, because Ale, we were here at the weekend with Stevie Nicol having all these doubts, saying he kind of went lost. He was a bit quiet against Burnley. Is Mo Salah just, is age catching up to him and whatnot? But form is temporary, class is permanent. Did he show that today?
Yeah. The conversation with Stevie was along the lines of, if he's having an awful game as he was having against Burnley, is Mohamed Salah a player that can be taken off the field by Arne Slot? And Stevie seemed to believe that, no, he's untouchable.
Yeah.
All right. You know how you really, really make yourself untouchable? Scoring goals like he did today. And really, should have scored a second one in the second half. It was a tap-in, and by his standards was a big miss. But what you saw today that you didn't see against Burnley, he was all too happy to just stay over there in the sidelines and be in the fringes of the play. He wasn't really participating all that much. It's almost as if he was bored by the fact that Burnley had so many numbers behind the ball. I don't really want it. This is not my kind of. This is not for me. This is not my kind of game. As for tonight, there was a sense from Mo Salah from the very beginning of the game. This is my kind of game. This is my kind of night. This is my environment. And right away, you see when he scores a goal, it's in a play that he starts from the right-hand side and comes to the inside and gets in a combination, which we didn't see over the weekend. So it was a fair question to ask on the weekend. But then Mo Salah comes out in Champions League night and says, stop right there. Stop the nonsense. I'm still the guy that's going to score big goals for Liverpool. What I would want to see from Mo Salah, if I were a Liverpool fan, is to see this sort of feeling, this sort of behavior, this sort of attitude all the time, which, to be fair, is not always there from Mo Salah. It wasn't against Burnley, but he was here tonight against Atletico Madrid.
Weekend game against Burnley? Nah. Under the lights at Anfield for the Champions League, Mo just knows how to choose his moments. Come on. Speaking of choosing your moments, Jan, we got to finally see the man who we have been talking so much about over the last couple of weeks and what feels like the entire summer, and that is Alexander Isak making his debut for Liverpool in the Champions League. What did you make of it?
It was an introduction. You said yourself in your highlights. You put out his highlights of the game. I think that Arne Slot knows how we're gonna use him. He didn't take him on the bus to Burnley. He kept him away there, let him start in the Champions League under the floodlights. What we're talking about at Anfield. So this is a fantastic signing, and sometimes in 2025 we do assessment after was it 5 minutes that Wirtz was in England before we said he would be failing, so I think this is a perfect introduction for him. The good news for Liverpool is they have the time to do that, because you have Ekitike. You can do that because he's been doing well. So Isak can slowly get into his game. And I think it was very important for him today to get that feeling, to get that Anfield feeling. I've had the pleasure to play at Anfield. It's very, very special. And I can just imagine being a Liverpool player, walking out there with a sign over the door, going out to that fantastic stadium and get that feeling. And so that is a luxury that Arne Slot has. He can let them play. He can also keep Wirtz in there to find his way as long as he can, because he got alternatives. He can put Robertson in when Kerkers has been a bit hot in his head. That is the expression I'm looking for. So Alexander Isak will be great for them, and he will get loads of goals.
Yeah, Jan mentioned earlier this problem that Arne Slot and Liverpool have, right? That and basically in Jan saying, well, I wish that every other team in Europe had the problems that Arne Slot and Liverpool has, right? And figuring out how they're going to go about winning games, and they seem to just find a way. This Alexander Isak situation is also one of those lovely problems to have. See, you gave him a start today, and basically you put him out there. You see how it develops. You see how it goes. And if things are not what you want to see, hey, Hugo, yeah, you've been really good since you got to this team. Come here and try to resolve a problem for me. You're starting to see why the depth of Liverpool is so significant and so important. You see who the players that are coming off the bench as compared to the players that are coming off the bench for other teams, and they're not on the same level. Liverpool are a superior level. And so when we ask ourselves, why is Liverpool able to win games late? Well, part of that reason is the fact that they have a tremendous amount of depth. And the talent personnel that is available coming off the bench is better than whatever other teams have. And so when it's subs against subs, guess what? Liverpool subs are better than everybody else's subs, or most of the other team subs.
Defeat for your boys at Chelsea, for your Chelsea Blues. What did you think of it?
Well, I would have to say that overall, in terms of chances, Bayern deserved to win that game, but it could have been otherwise if Malo Gusto unfortunately didn't give the ball to Kane for Kane to score his second goal, and it almost killed the game in a way. I didn't find Chelsea in the second half, killers enough to come back. Even if Palmer scored, that goal was disallowed for 1 or 2 inches. I thought, the level was good in the first half. I think that everybody worked hard and on both sides, that the level between the two teams is not that big. I think we're going to find them, being very close to each other at the end of that system. But yeah, I would have expected more about Chelsea in the second half, maybe more offensive choices, maybe sooner from the coach. Well, it's a loss, and they have to be disappointed, but of course it's not the end of it. I think we're going to find Chelsea not too far, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go through.
Ale, what did you make of Bayern? Because we've spoken so much as well about whether or not they recruited the right way this summer and if they can be a threat. We know that they are the threat in the Bundesliga, but if they can be a real threat in the Champions League. Were you impressed by them tonight?
Yes, I was. But the issues of the recruiting by Bayern Munich still linger and still remain. They are 1 or 2 injuries away from disaster. If you're Bayern Munich, you're thinking, we're still, as serviceable a player as Konrad Laimer is as a right back, he's not a right back. As serviceable player as Josef Stanisic can be as a left back, he's not a left back. And you see a team that when they dictate everything on the field and they dominate the possession and they get Olise involved and they get Harry Kane involved and Joshua Kimmich is running everything, they are dominant. And they are powerful and almighty. But when you get Bayern Munich turned the other way and actually running over distance, they get panicky when it comes to their defending. That's why Jonathan Tah is in a back and forth with Joao Pedro. Because he knows that if Joao Pedro runs by him, there's no cover. There are many instances, at least 3 or 4, in which Chelsea had an opportunity to exploit that transition. They did so with the Cole Palmer goal. But you go to the Enzo Fernandez chance very early in the match, and you think to yourself, man, these are the sort of sequences that you can expose Bayern Munich. Having said that, if I am going to highlight anybody out of the 22 players, can I just have a word about Harry Kane? And I think Jan would appreciate this. As strikers, your whole life has been about scoring goals. This is what you do. This is what makes you a player. You live and die on goals. And your statistics, depending on those goals, make a better or worse contract. It really is that simple. Harry Kane has managed, as he has gotten older, to find evolution and maturity to his game that go beyond just the goals. The goals are important. He hasn't lost that part. He's still scoring the goals. But a lot of the build-up from Bayern Munich goes through Harry Kane, dropping into underneath positions, little give and goes, little outlet passes, little turns, that then open everything up for Bayern Munich. A job that usually you would associate with a guy like, say, for example, Jamal Musiala, but he's not available. And so Harry Kane, you see him playing 1-2s on top of his own 18-yard box, and you're thinking, well, that's not what a striker should be doing. And yet, the evolution and the maturity of his game is such that he still remains one of the best strikers in the world. But I would argue that right now, where he is, he's an even better player than he was 5 years ago. A total player, a total package, not just a goal scorer. He was outstanding tonight.
Jan, do you agree with what Ale's saying about Harry Kane?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Harry Kane, as is everybody who loves football. But I also have to praise with Vincent Kompany now, because, there are injuries. First of all, on the left back now, you had Stanisic out today, Guerreiro is out, Davis is out. That is just the left back. They don't have a right back. What if something happened to Kane? As Ali was saying, he's playing different positions in the team, so that is difficult. But it's also in a club. You're a coach in a club where something happens every day. We talked a lot about that. Max Eberl, he's going with his car to Uli Hoeneß every second week, and he tells him, you're too sensible, do this, do that. You have Karl-Heinz Rummenigge sitting in the stands telling them what to do, not to do. And Vincent Kompany managed to kind of develop this team. And you can see, yes, they are in the league now. They have 14-2. That is a goal difference. They win against Chelsea, the world champion, by the way, the world champion of the world.
Oh,
Chelsea,
here it is.
Chelsea Football Club. The thing is that if we see the big clubs around the world and we see them, we analyze them, and we try to understand them every day, Kompany just goes on with his work. He's developing a team. He does what Ali had a good point when Musiala is out. Kane is coming even deeper to do that role as well. So sometimes we have to praise also coaches to keep their head cool, because it's not very easy to be cool at Bayern, as many coaches, much more experienced than Vincent Kompany has experienced.
Well, Frank, we know that Chelsea fans are going to be after Jan after that. But Jan is right to remind us, Chelsea are the world champions, Frank. So should they have put up more of a fight to make this game with Bayern a lot closer?
Yes, maybe, but that's a game. And again, you know, it's only because Malo Gusto made a bad tackle or an unfortunate tackle that gave Kane the possibility of scoring a goal. And after, because Palmer was inches away of not being offside, that Chelsea may be lost today, sorry, but they could have done better. But it's part of the football, and I think you have to give respect to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich played well, and I think overall deserve to win, and that's something that can happen. I think Chelsea needs to evolve at certain points, and he's still very young, but he's getting better and better every week, and I feel more comfortable watching Chelsea going back to what I've known about the club, and that big club that have been winning so many titles, and on top of it, the Club World Cup, fantastic one. But really, you know what? I think things are going up. And you have some players when they're not on the top. Today, Caicedo was there, but he made that penalty. He wasn't as efficient as he normally is. I didn't see Enzo Fernandez as well. Neto wasn't the best Neto. But when those players are at their top, it's very hard to cope with Chelsea. And it's been shown many times. But today wasn't the day of some players, and it didn't work. And I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, we can talk about Kane. I'm talking a little bit of Bayern Munich. Yet, it's not for me that he evolved. I think he's able to do what he was doing when he was younger. You know, going back, playing like a number 10, but physically still capable to work that way. But we have to talk about Michael Olise. I mean, that's a different class, different player. The guy is absolutely fantastic. Well, he should have scored. I agree with Ali. It was a little bit too easy on that, but what a talented player. I mean, he's a game changer for me. It was a very easy game because Paris Saint-Germain put all the ingredients needed to do that, and he started from the symbolic action, first one, where you find a centre back finishing the action, carrying it on, and being the skipper of that team, Marquinhos, and scoring a goal like Ale Mourinho used to do when he was a fantastic striker. So that's what it is. That's unbelievable. And yeah, you talk about Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia, when he's on fire, he's unstoppable. He's like Olise. We just talked about Olise. They're the same type of player. They are killers. They are absolutely fantastic. They have all the skills. They're fast. And on top of it, it seems to be effortless, everything they do. So with all these ingredients, except maybe the Barcola's penalty, which was one of the worst penalties I ever seen, everything was perfect. That was a perfect evening. Everything went well. Even the coach started with Mayulu, the young Mayulu, as a striker, put Gomez, and Gomez scored the fourth goal. So it's a perfect world for Paris Saint-Germain. I saw when you talked about Liverpool, that Liverpool is one of the favorites alongside Paris Saint-Germain, but you put Liverpool at first. Please, next time, put PSG first. Even if they are ex aequo, if they are the same, they have the same odds. But put Paris Saint-Germain first because they are the former or the winner of the Champions League of the last season, not Liverpool. So when you have 6-1 on odds, please put Paris Saint-Germain first. And yes, it's a French team, but don't forget that I was the captain of Olympique Marseille, and that was the enemy. So, but I just want to that Paris Saint-Germain be respected, Mr. Ali Moreno, because I know you're going to talk now.
Put some respect.
Because I know you're going to talk now.
All I would say, Frank, is, first of all, full disclosure, you do know that we have nothing to do with the full screens that come on. We don't build this. They just pop up and we talk about them. Secondly, we don't make the odds. It's not us. We don't do
But should then PSG be ahead of Liverpool in the conversation of being the big favorites for this?
It's a fair point that Frank makes. It's a reasonable point, well thought out by Frank. I have nothing to do with this. All I can tell you is that in watching PSG today, on all the teams that we watched today, you watch PSG, they look far superior to everybody else.
Yes.
And that's without potentially their best player in Ousmane Dembele or Desiree Doué. So I'm looking at PSG and I'm thinking it was 4-0, and really, if you truly objectively analyze this game, it should have been 8, easily.
Yeah.
You think of some of the saves that Carnesecchi, the goalkeeper from Atalanta, made. You think of the penalty kick that Barcola misses, and there were opportunity, and Atalanta's not a bad team. And yet PSG made him look like, nah, you guys don't belong in this competition. We are at a different level. PSG, I think, yes, they should be the favorites in this competition. But let's not forget, and before Frank gets all crazy on me, it's actually better. If you think about how their season went last year, we were talking about them struggling in the earlier part of Champions League. And then they turned it around and they started trending towards the Champions League. So, if I'm Frank, if I'm PSG, I want to be at the top at the end of this competition, not at the top in a full screen right now. Right now, it doesn't really matter. But PSG, Kvaratskhelia also.
Gorgeous Georgian.
Gorgeous Georgian.
Thank you.
According to you. It's a matter of taste.
I meant his style, how he plays, how he scores.
Well, I can tell you that there are a few players around the world and the elite level that look faster when they dribble the ball than they do without the ball. Kvaratskhelia is one of those guys. That when he gets the momentum with the ball, he just creates that separation and he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
He was outstanding today.